Hello everyone, my name is the Humble Gamer and welcome to Sonic the Hedgehog. So this is my Pi Day video, episode 2. So I want to get a few things out of the way. First of all, probably by the sound of the commentary you can already tell, this is post-commentary. I'm doing this because I only had a few days to actually make this. So I thought, you know, what I'll do is I'll play through the game and just commentate over it. It gives me more of a chance to talk about the things I want to talk about. I'm not exactly the best at Sonic games either, so, you know, as you can see there, I'm not the best at Sonic games, so it probably wouldn't have been best of me to do it live. So I wanted to do this video because Sonic Mania is coming out very, very soon, and I wanted to just take everybody back to the first game that started it all, Sonic the Hedgehog. This is it. This is the game that started the entire thing. And I thought, you know, this video could either be me playing through, you know, the first few levels of each of the first few Sonic games, Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Sonic and Knuckles, or I could alternatively do what I've done here, play through the whole of the very first original game. So as you can see there, easy peasy, no bloody problems whatsoever. Like, you know, I could do the first few levels really easily, but later on you'll see that, man, I really start to suck badly. And the way you'll see that is the next big thing I should say before people complain. I used save states doing this because to be completely and utterly honest with you, especially if you're a Sonic fan as well, I have never ever been good at these kinds of games where you know, if you die too many times you have to start from the beginning. And I could play this game all the way through, I'm sure I could without using save states, but it wouldn't really be easy for me to edit, it wouldn't make a good video. So I thought, fuck it, I'll use save states and, you know, I'll actually get to experience the whole game in a shorter time that way. And you know, it'll make it easy to edit. So, you know, I did that. So when you start seeing like little letters in the bottom left turning up, those are save and load states. So, and it happens quite a lot around checkpoints and the beginnings of levels as well. So, but anyway, with all that information out of the way, I want to talk about the main man himself, or should I say the main hedgehog himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I've never been a great fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. I've never been a huge fan of Sonic. I do respect the series. I do respect the originals. I love what they do as platformers. I think they're fantastic games. And I have played them in the past a couple times. I've just never played them without save states. I'm terribly shit at these kinds of games, so I have to play with save states. And, you know, I guess I could say you're right in hating me for that if you do, because, you know, these games shouldn't be played that way. But for me personally, if I want to actually experience these games and, you know, see everything they have to offer, then I like to be able to do that without having to get really angry at the game dying over and over again, because, you know, I could do that. I could play the game and play it legit and die over and over until I get it right and keep playing. As it stands, this run that we're looking at now took me 3 hours with save stating. The video, obviously, as you can see, is only 1 hour and 20 minutes long, so that 3 hours consisted of a lot of deaths, So, be thankful that I did use save states, because this would suck otherwise. I really wanted to try and do more than just Sonic 1, because Sonic 1 is a great game, but, you know, I wanted to experience the first 3 games on video and sort of go from there to Sonic Mania, because I have pre-ordered Sonic Mania and I will be playing it when it comes out, which is why I've made this Pi Day video. Because my next Pi Day video, actually, I'm going to save that. I'm not going to tell you guys what the next video is that I'm going to do for Pi Day. As another thing, I should say, actually, I'm sorry this is not going up on a Friday. If it's any consolation, this footage was recorded last Friday. However, you know, it's taken me a really long time to edit it and get it up. In fact, this video might not even go up until tomorrow, which is, you know, Monday, the day before Sonic Mania comes out. So if that's the case, then it's a good thing that I've done it the way I have. If I'd done it any different, this just would have taken me far too long to do. So anyway, I've spent like upwards of about 5 minutes talking about that stuff now. I want to talk more about Sonic. It's time to talk about Sonic. So as Sonic goes, the original Sonic game was pretty significant in the gaming climate. It was a very, very significant change and a welcome change to a pretty stale climate, you know. And it's no wonder that Sonic is such a loved mascot. You know, I mean, these original games, you know, the original three and Knuckles are some of the best of their kind, in my opinion. There are other good ones besides Sonic, but you know, Sonic in itself is a great game. So, personally, I've had very little experience with the Sonic games compared to some Sonic fans, as I've already said, but I'll elaborate on that. My experience with Sonic basically consists of emulating the games, playing them through with save states once, and then never playing them again. I have watched people play through the Sonic games. I have watched speed runs of them and whatnot, so you know, I do know all the tactics and everything. When I recorded this, I just wanted to sort of play the game as legit as I possibly could, which meant, you know, playing through the entire game without, you know, skipping anything or whatever. So sorry, I needed a drink there. Thirsty as hell. So actually, let's talk about this. What's on screen right now, the boss fights. These are some of the most fun and creative boss fights in these games. These types of games, these 2D platformers. I mean, you know, you get to the end of Act 3, and every single Act 3 there is a boss, and each of them has their own unique style, their own flair. You know, it's all Dr. Robotnik, but it's surprising just how many different ways in which they could have you fight Dr. Robotnik. You know, in the first fight, he's got the ball. In the second fight, he's got the spike, and he picks up the blocks off the ground. That's the one at the end of Marble Zone here. You know, and then there's other boss fights like the chase, which isn't really a fight. And the final boss fight, you know, is absolutely incredible. It's a really tough boss fight. It really makes you work damn hard to beat it. I'll tell you right now, it took me 25 minutes to beat the final boss, but of course you'll see the perfect run, as it were. But you know what? It's fine. It doesn't matter if I you know, used save states and cut out all the failure, because what that means is we can have a straightforward run through the entire game. We get to see everything as many times as is necessary, and we get to experience it raw, which is really nice. Now, with Sonic, I have my first experience with Sonic was with which Sonic game was it? I think it was Sonic Heroes on PS2 was my first Sonic experience. I know I might have played the first few levels of Sonic, this game, when I was really, really young, before playing Sonic Heroes, but I don't think I ever really fully understood or had a concept of the Sonic games up until I actually, you know, played Sonic Heroes on the PS2. I've played plenty of games that Sonic has been in. I played, of course, the original trilogy in Knuckles. I have played Sonic Unleashed, which was a shit game, Sonic Heroes, Sonic 4, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I haven't played Sonic CD. I've watched someone play Sonic CD, but I've never played it myself. So forgive me for my lack of knowledge on that, because yeah, I haven't played it. So, but you know what? It's fine, because you don't really need to play Sonic CD to get to grips with Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a pretty simple concept. You know, you got a bunch of obstacles in the way, you know, and you just jump across them like that, and just you know, move to the right, move to the right. Right is right. Wow, what a burp, guys. Man, what do you rate that? Give me a rating. I want a rating in the comments. What's my rating for that burp? First burp. Oh man. Do you know, I should talk about the Chaos Emerald levels as well, actually, since we're in the next Chaos Emerald level here. with the Chaos Emeralds, I really loved the Chaos Emerald levels. I know they're pretty fucking hard in some cases, but they're really clever. The entire concept of, you know, sort of having this world that really confuses you with its colours, and of course it spins around as well, which just disorientates you to fuck. And then it puts in these goalposts which, you know, just don't kill you, but they send you out of the level if you hit them. I almost hit the goalpost there, you see that? Wasn't that a lucky break? But yeah, this entire sort of thing is really, really well made, and I absolutely love it. There we go, look at that, Chaos Emerald. Oh, that's the third one, isn't it? Yeah, third one. I get all of them in this run, by the way. All 6 in the first 6 levels that you can get Chaos Emeralds in. So basically, by Act 2 of World 3, I've got all 6 emeralds. So, oh man, I am really, really excited for Sonic Mania. I've said to people before that I do respect the Sonic games, even though I'm not a huge fan of them like some people are. And I know I said that earlier on, but I'll just reiterate that you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic games, like some people are. I'm not obsessive over it or anything, but I do respect it as a series, and I do respect what it did for gaming, and I do like Sonic as well. I think he's a fantastic character. There's just so much potential with his character, so I do like Sonic like that, but personally, I could never really get into the Sonic games. I was never good at them. I mean, another perfect example there. I was never really good at the Sonic games. I was always pretty mediocre at these kinds of games. Not just Sonic, you know, even Super Mario Brothers. I was always pretty mediocre at it. You know, even Super Mario Bros. 1 through 3 I couldn't beat without save states, you know. Mario Bros. I'm still working on trying to beat without any save states. I find it really, really difficult to do because, you know, as soon as you get hit once and lose your big ups, you know, you lose protection and you run the risk of, you know, ending up dying and reloading at a save point when the times are off. Because the thing is, I've learned the pixel perfection for a lot of the levels over the last couple years, but it's still really difficult for me personally to be able to get used to some of the later levels for their sort of pixel perfect jumps. So one day I'll be able to beat Mario without using save states, and you know what, when I do, I will make a video about it, because goddamn, that will be a huge achievement in my life to be able to play that game without using save states. As for Mario Bros 2 and 3, I don't know if I'll ever be able to play those games without save states. I mean, they're not entirely hard. Super Mario Bros 3 I can actually get most of the way through without save states. It's not a difficult game. You know, it's just the whole, like I said earlier, losing all your lives and having to start the game over again really pissed me off back in the day when I was little, and I just couldn't deal with it, and I just had to say, no, I can't do this. But as I've grown up, I've realised why it's there, and I've realised why it's necessary, and I've realised that, you know, there are people out there who do it really, really easily. Like Sonic here, this game is so easy for some people. Some people know all the shortcuts, they just know everything pixel perfect, you know, and they can just run through every level, you know. I mean, even having cut out all the failures, this video still comes to about 1 hour and 17 without the intro and outro, you know, so that says a lot about just how long this game is normally if you're playing through it casually. There were a few moments though, even during this perfect run, as it were, that I sort of, yeah, like this here, where I get stalled by waiting for something. There was one later that was like 3 or 4 minutes long, so it's possible that this game speed run all the way through probably only takes like, I don't know, an hour, maybe less. I don't know if there's any skips like in the original Mario Bros games, so, you know, I'm just gonna, oh wow, a 10,000 point bonus. I didn't realise I'd picked up a 10,000 point bonus there when I jumped in the air. Wow, I'm seeing things now watching back through this that I didn't the first time I played. So yeah, so I do like these sorts of games. I just find them very, very difficult without using save states. And just as, you know, another point, I'm very, very liberal with my save states, usually at least, anyway. Usually I only save state at, you know, what would be considered a checkpoint within a game, or you know, a new level. Like in Donkey Kong, you know, the original Donkey Kong, when I'm playing that, I'll save every new level, you know, and just do it that way. In fact, that was the only way I was ever able to actually get to level 22 in the original Donkey Kong, and get to see just how fast it gets. And it's the same with what was the other one I played? Wasn't Donkey Kong. It was. It might have been Donkey Kong actually. I don't know. I'm a little confused, a little confuzzled. Also, I'm just gonna pick something up here. Oh, sorry, I think I touched the mic there. That's not good. So there we go, 4 Chaos Emeralds. Damn, breezing through the game, ain't I? Marble Zone Act 3. So, I want to talk actually. I might as well talk a little bit about the. Oh, I stalled here a little bit. The camera. Sonic looks at the camera. That's good. I wanted to talk a little bit about my general opinion on the aesthetic of the original Sonic, considering that Sonic Mania is going to be using a couple of the levels from this game, as well as some of the other Sonic games in the trilogy. But yeah, so I do like the aesthetic to some of the levels in this game. You know, the first level is very calm and sort of chilled out and vibrant, you know, to get you sort of intrigued, involved, curious, you know, and it's easy to get through as well. There's not as many obstacles and enemies. The second area is a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging, you know, and the third area here is much slower. It involves a lot of waiting around, which I think would be the only thing that I hated about this game is the waiting around. But considering how short of a game it actually is, if you know every level off by heart, it really isn't that bad. You know, there's me doing a little dance. There's Sonic. You see me, I was doing a little dance. I was like, hey, look at me, I'm dancing. Hey. I do that when I get bored playing Sonic. I just start pressing the down button on the D-pad over and over again. Oh god, yeah, that's another thing. You guys don't even know. I was using my PS4 controller to play this. So, yeah, just thought I'd let you know. I am really looking forward to Sonic Mania. I know I've probably not talked about it all that much. I suppose, did I mention it in any of my streams? I don't think I did. I don't think I mentioned it at all in any of my videos, but I have actually been waiting for Sonic Mania, and I am absolutely looking forward to it when it comes out. It actually installed onto the PS4 today, so just got to wait for for Tuesday now, and it'll be active and I can play it, and I will be making a video on it, of course, and that video will be a follow-up to this one. So I think one of my favourite zones in this game is probably the space zone. I forget what it's called. I'm a garbage person who doesn't remember anything about these games, even 2 days later. But yeah, I do like the Star Zone. I like the music in it. Spaceway, is it called? Man, I'm like I'm blithering like an old man, is what I'm doing. Blithering like an old man. I feel like an old man playing Sonic. And another thing, actually, I'll take another opportunity, since I'm, you know, this is an old game, to say that just because you're young doesn't mean that you can't enjoy older things. You know, because I'm constantly told, because I'm a millennial, I was actually born in the first year that the millennial generation is considered to be the millennial generation, and I'm really unhappy about that because, you know, there's so much stigma towards millennials. But anyway, you know, I was born in 1995, and, you know, I'm quite young in comparison to a lot of people, but most of my tastes are in old things. I like older music, I like older video games, I like older movies. You know, I like older TV. I'm not really fond of a lot of new things, you know. There are plenty of new things I'm fond of, but not as many as there are old things I'm fond of. So, you know, I guess I'm quite a rare case of someone who is young but enjoys old things more than new things. And, you know, this is a perfect example of an old thing I enjoy more than a new thing. I like the older Sonics better than the newer Sonics, you know, and I mean, I thought Sonic 4 was good, you know, so that says a lot about me, doesn't it, that I thought Sonic 4 was good, yet, you know, I do like the original Sonic games as well. I mean, I suppose you could say that Sonic 4 was just sort of an attempt to... Well, actually, I don't know what an attempt... I don't know what kind of attempt it was, honestly. It was... If it was an attempt at anything, it was just a sad attempt at cashing in on Sonic. You know, trying to make a new Sonic game that wasn't really a Sonic game. But I still liked it. I thought it was still a fun game, you know. So it's nice to be able to go back and to see where it all started, you know. And as the games went on, they just improved, they added more, and the games just got bigger and better, really. Well, at least these classic ones did. It's not to say the same for the new Sonic games, or, you know, most of the new Sonic titles. So here's the next boss fight. Oh, I was wrong. This isn't the boss fight with the spikes. This is the boss fight where he puts the fire down on the platforms. Yeah. So you see, another clever boss fight, you see. It takes advantage of what level you've been playing in. So you've been playing in levels with lots of lava, you know, and fire. And, you know, he's using fire on you, you know. It doesn't make you use anything that you've learned in just these levels. It's just like, oh, okay, it's fire. I need to avoid it. So there you go. You know, it's a very, very clever boss fight, and I like it. You know, they're all very clever boss fights. And then there's freeing the animals once again. Sonic loves to free them animals. 5 minutes 48 took me to beat that level. God damn. You know, even with the cutting, that's extreme. I think it's because of all the waiting around I tend to do. Oh, actually, you know what? This might be my favourite music in Sonic 1. This music, Spring Yard's Act 1. I love this tune. I think it's mostly because the remixes of it are so fucking good. There are such good remixes of the Spring Yard Zone music. Oh, I love that. I fucking love that. The ring sounds. That's like my favourite part about it, is that little ding, that little like sort of ching in the music is the fucking ring tune. It's when you pick up the rings. It's so good, honestly. I fucking love the music in this game. It is absolutely bonkers that they managed to pull off such a fantastic, memorable soundtrack as they did. You know, I can't think of anyone who's a gamer who doesn't know at least one Sonic track, because it's such a memorable track. Oh wow. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm like just sort of, okay, there was a platform. Why? I don't know. I do love these games so much, but I don't play them enough. Just, why does that say CPU up there? Huh. Another thing I didn't really notice during my first time playing. Weird. Well, you know, I guess when you're playing through a game, you tend not to notice things if you're focusing really hard. And I was focusing pretty hard on this when I was playing. Because, you know, already, like, you might not have noticed it, but already I must have died at least, like, 3 or 4 times and skipped them out. So, it's so bad. Like, I died so many times in this. In fact, actually, I should talk about that thing. Sonic Mania was actually, like, there was footage leaked on a stream a couple days ago. And apparently the guy who was playing, I didn't watch any of the footage, but according to people who had watched the footage, apparently the guy who was playing was absolute garbage. Apparently he died so many times, like, to simple things. Now, like, as someone who hasn't played Sonic in, like, several years, you know... Oh, look, another 10,000 pointer. As someone who hasn't played Sonic in, like, several years until this point, you know, I'm definitely... I'm definitely sort of for the people who said that guy was shit. Because honestly, even me, being as shit at Sonic as I am, I at least try. But apparently this guy wasn't even trying. He was just, like, really fucking shit. So, you know, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's not talk about people being shit at Sonic. Let's talk about my amazing, perfect run, no deaths, no deaths, as Felix likes to say. Poor Felix. I feel sorry for him these days. Anyway, this isn't about PewDiePie. This is about Sonic. This is about Sonic the Hedgehog. The guy, the hedge, the blue dude with the mood, and he's swooed. He is one swooed dude. Blue swooed dude. Oh, look, extra life. Good. I really do love those special zones. They are great. Oh, wow. Do you know, it's funny as well because, like, when I originally first played Sonic, I literally didn't understand the concept at all. It was just another game my brother showed to me, and I was just like, hey, okay, cool. And I tried it out, got through the first 3 levels, got to Marble Zone, died, got a game over, and just said no more, thanks, that's it, I'm done, not playing no more. And I pretty much just, you know, every time I played Sonic past that point, it was just those first 3 levels, you know. And then, like, several years ago, I actually played through the game on an emulator and got through the whole game, you know. So it's weird that I've only ever, like, sort of beat the game once, and it was with saves then, you know. I've never beat this game without saves. And I'm sure I could, you know. I know it sounds really, really bad now, because it's like, oh, you've only played the game twice, and you used save states both times. And the first time you played it was 7 years ago, and now you're playing it again, and you're using save states, but you're older, so you could probably do it without save states. Well, I will repeat to you once again, Mr. Inquisitive commentator, or commentary person, or commenter, that I am shit at Sonic. Quite clearly, because I even in these you know, footage that I'm showing you, I still take hits very often in levels, parts of levels where people probably wouldn't take hits normally. Although, to be completely and utterly fair, even people who you know, love Sonic that much to complain, you have to know already, if you love Sonic that much, that there's no way that you can beat this game without taking hits from enemies if you don't know they're there. So I've clearly just been very, very honest with you and said, yeah, okay, I've only played the game twice, so that means I'm not 100% about where everything in the bloody levels are. So, you know, of course I'm going to take hits because I don't know, you know, where to jump to avoid the enemies. Whereas people who've played this game over and over and over again, of course know where all the enemies are and can avoid them and not take hits. So, yeah, there you go. Get logicked, bitch. Anyway, what the hell. So, yeah, but, you know, it's fine. Like, Sonic is as Sonic does, you know. Oh, look, I got hit by the spiky. Oh, wow. That fucking music again, it gets me every fucking time, man. Dun 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 dun. Get fucking hyped, guys. Come on, Sonic Mania's coming out, you know. Everybody's been waiting for that game for years, you know. There are so many games, right, that have come out in the last year that have been absolutely astounding for me, you know, and I'm seriously happy with the amount of content that I've been able to make out of that stuff this year, you know. There's been so many games that only came out this year, you know, that I've actually gotten an opportunity to play on video, you know, to share my experiences of it with you guys, and I'm just so happy about that. And, you know, Sonic is a game that really means a lot to a lot of people, so I wanted to at least try to do it some justice, you know. I know I couldn't, you know, make you guys extremely happy by, you know, playing the game legit without save states, but at the very least, I didn't save state every 5 seconds, you know. I only save stated at checkpoints and at the beginnings of levels in the later game, you know. So you know, I did my best. Also, there you go, all the gems, all the Chaos Emeralds, bada bing, bada boom, there you go. It's all good, boys and girls. But yeah, you know, so I hope I did the game justice, at least for actual Sonic fans. I hope that any actual Sonic fans watching this like what I did, you know, because at the end of the day, if you're gonna talk about Sonic Mania, you can't talk about Sonic Mania without going back to the original that started it all. And that was my thought process behind this. I was going to do a completely different Pi Day video, which I was going to do for like next week. But then I thought, you know what? fuck it. I'm going to play Sonic the Hedgehog all the way through, and I'm going to share that experience with you guys. And just sort of, in the case of people who might not have played Sonic for a while, in the case of people who, you know, want to see Sonic again before Sonic Mania comes out, you know, the original Sonic, then here you go. There it is. The original Sonic the Hedgehog, played all the way through without any of the deaths, just casually doing a run, you know, and I think it's great. You know, Sonic the Hedgehog is a fantastic game that has stood the test of time, quite frankly, and continues to be a joy for a lot of people. And even though I haven't played it too much, I'm still happy that I got to play it, at least for this video. So maybe I will play it again, actually. Maybe I will play it again at some point in the near future, I don't know. Not on video, of course. I mean, like, you know, just play it casually. Because it's not a long game. It's pretty short, and I'd like to perfect a run of the game. I'd like to actually get to play through this game without save states, just like I want to get through Mario without save states. You know, I really want to do that, because I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I want to prove to myself that, you know, just like the kids of the 80s and 90s, that I can play these games that don't, you know, have save points, that, you know, put you back to the beginning of the game if you die, you know, and that I can play these games. That's what I want to prove to myself, you know, to no one else, just myself. So hopefully I can do that. But until then, I'm happy with this. Just what I've got here, it's great, you know. And Sonic is such a it's such a beloved franchise, but it has so many shit games, and I never know which ones I actually want to play and which ones I want to avoid like the plague. Like, I know I avoided Sonic 06 simply because of Game Grumps, you know. But I have got Sonic Heroes, I have got Sonic 1 through 3. In fact, I have 2 Sonic collections on the PlayStation 2. The Sonic Gems collection and the Sonic Mega Collection Plus. So I do practically have every original Sonic game that there is, including some of the more obscure stuff like, you know, Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And by obscure, I don't mean in the traditional meaning of the word. I mean, like, nobody plays Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Nobody plays that. Please tell me you don't. That game sucks so much ass, honestly. I've played Sonic Mean Bean Machine. I've watched a speedrun of Sonic's Mean Bean Machine. I've watched people play through the whole thing, and it is garbage from beginning to end. I hate it. I think it's garbage. I think it's shit. Same with Sonic Spinball. It's garbage. Come on. You can't like those games. Seriously. I'm joking. You can like whatever you want, honestly. It's no problem from me. If you guys want to play that, it's absolutely up to you. For me personally, though, my personal favourite Sonic experiences have been, besides this one, you know, because obviously I'm saying I haven't played this game in several years until this playthrough, so it was nice to actually play through the whole game to the end. You know, it's a fantastic experience. But the other Sonic experiences that I really enjoyed, Sonic 4 was actually fun, despite what a lot of people say. Also, here's the boss fight with the spike and the taking the blocks. I actually left this death in because I didn't actually save state properly, so I thought I'd leave that one death in. So it's not a deathless run, but there you go. It's fine, it doesn't matter. It's only a few seconds of your time. It's fine. But yeah, so, you know, Sonic 4 I thought was fun. I did enjoy the original trilogy of Sonic games, but in terms of the best Sonics that I've personally had the experience to play, Sonic 1, Sonic 4, and probably actually Sonic Racing. Even though it's not a traditional Sonic game, I did like it. I guess it depends on your point of view on what a Sonic game is. If we're talking Sonic games like this one, then the only 2 I can say are the original and Sonic 4. Even though I did enjoy Sonic 1 through 3 and Knuckles. So, I don't know, I think differently to a lot of people. I have a very, very different opinion to a lot of people about video games. You know, things people tend to hate, I tend to love. You know, like there was a lot of hate around ukulele. I loved ukulele. There was well, actually, I can't think of another one from recently. I suppose a lot of people shit on Bethesda games, but you know, there's just as many people that love Bethesda games. So, but anyway, this isn't about Bethesda. This is a Sonic game. This zone, I got some stories about this one. Let me tell you, when I was a kid, I used to cry whenever I heard the sound that comes up when Sonic's drowning. When the numbers start coming up and it goes, I used to actually cry when I heard that. Yeah, my brother could fucking tell you that's the truth. Actually, if he was here, he could tell you that's the truth, because he was the one who used to play this game. He is actually good at this game. So, you know, but every time he used to play it and get to this zone, I used to cry when I heard that sound. And we're not talking about, like, you know, like kind of crying. We're talking about kind of crying, you know, like actually like 10 minutes of bawling my eyes out because, you know, I didn't like the sound of poor Sonic drowning. I'm glad I'm not like that these days, but you know, it is a funny story though. It's the weird things that we find scary as a kid, you know. It's really good though. I do really like it. That I've got stories like that to tell. It's actually quite a unique mechanic now that I look at it from a different perspective nowadays, you know, because it is really clever. You know, not only do you have to worry about all the obstacles that are in your way in these levels, but you also have to worry about your air, and you have to constantly stop to, you know, make sure that you don't lose your air in the middle of you know, something important like this, for example. You know, this requires focus, and it's important to make sure that you have air beforehand so that, you know, you don't run out. They always give you just the right amount of air, I think, in the right places. I think sometimes they do have too many available bubbles, but you know what, it's fine. I think it's fine anyway. The music is actually really good, you know. Now that I listen to it, it is actually really good, this level's music. I think I still like Spring Yard Zone better, but goddamn though, every level in this game, or every world in this game, has to have respect for its music. You know, legit, the soundtrack in this game is so good. I can't wait personally to hear the Sonic Mania soundtrack, the full thing. I know there's loads of the music already out on YouTube, but I dare not spoil myself even with the music. So, yeah, I used to save state there. So, you know, I dare not spoil myself even with the music. So I'm going to wait until the game comes out before I know anything past what the game looks like. That's basically all I know right now. I will actually be playing the pre-order trailer for Sonic Mania at the end of this Pi Day, just so that we can sort of, you know, because I happen to know, I have seen it, that the opening animation of Sonic Mania is fucking amazing. And when I make the Sonic Mania video, I want it to be a continuation of this video. So knowing that the Sonic Mania animation is a continuation of the pre-launch trailer animation, I'm going to play the pre-launch trailer animation at the end of this video. And then, obviously in the next video, we will start with the opening animation of Sonic Mania, which will be a continuation from that. So, there you go. Just so you know. So you don't fucking complain to me about it. Honest to God, I never could have imagined when I was a child that I would have gained such a huge respect for the Sonic games, because over the years I've played a lot of video games, and some of them I've not been happy with, you know, for a while, and then sort of grown to love. Others I used to love and now absolutely fucking despise. And I just think that, you know, I just think that this game is something extremely special, because it just is. You know, there's no real reason or rhyme behind it. It's such a special game with such a sort of special place in a lot of people's hearts. I mean, look at this. Look at the Robotniks, right? Just the little details. I mean, I haven't talked about it thus far in this video, but just look at the little details, right, for a game this old. Look at all the tiny little things that they did to make the game lively and active. You know, not only have you got the rings that are placed all everywhere, you know, which fulfills that sort of collecting quota, You know, but you've got these enemies that have very clever ways of attacking you. You know, that guy who shoots the balls at you one by one. You know, the bubbles, the way they work, they're really... I really like the bubbles. I know it's such a simple thing to, you know, call out and say it's great, but, you know, those bubbles, though, you know, look at them. They're great. You know, they're so well designed. They're such well designed sprites. And in fact, that might be my favorite thing about these old games is the sprites. There's so much passion and so much detail in these sprites that they make for these games, you know, and not just the sprites, obviously the details in the world around. You know, these little details, like the entire layout of the world around you. So right there above that spike there was crystal. You know, that's actually supposed to be underwater sort of crystal, which is really, really nice. I really like that detail. And then in the background, you've got sort of a larger version of the foreground art. So, you know, you can sort of see there's the squares with the symbols in them in the background, which are also in the forefront on the world that Sonic is on. You know, little details like that are such fantastic details in these games, you know, and I couldn't ever hate on them. I don't think I could live with myself if I did, honestly. I think I get stuck in this room for about a minute or something, if I remember rightly. I couldn't figure out how to get out because, like, there's a wall up at the top that's sort of closed and there's not a button for it. It just sort of opens randomly for some reason. It's really weird. But, you know, while we're stuck in this room, though, I'm not really sure what else I can talk about because I've sort of talked about my history with Sonic and I've talked about my opinions on Sonic in general. I've talked about my excitement for Sonic Mania, you know, and I mean, we're only like 2/3 of the way through this video, but you know what, it's fine because honestly, just looking at this game again, for some people is probably enough. You know, I mean, if you want, actually, if you've managed to get this far into the video, if you want me to upload this entire video without the commentary track, let me know. I will upload this entire video separate, without this commentary on it. So if you just want the footage of the entire game played through, you know, I can do that for you. I know that I've got the Sega Mega Drive things at the sides of the screen, but you know what, it's fine. You could stretch those out if you want to use it for a video or something, or essentially you could green screen them out if you really want to. But you know, if you want that, let me know. Otherwise, let's just sort of enjoy the experience here, because Sonic is an experience, just like all these games. In fact, I want to go back to that point, because I've said it in other videos, but in case people watch this video and it's the first video of mine they've watched, I've said in the past, for me, video games are about the experiences. They're about sort of the things you can learn from them, because there are games that have a lot of meaning to certain people. You know, they teach you things, and then there are games that are just fun, you know, entertaining. They provide you with adventure, you know, within your childhood. You know, when I think about Zelda, for example, the original Legend of Zelda, I imagine that people who played that, oh, that's where the Switch was. I didn't notice that when I was playing. Okay, fair enough, there was a Switch. But yeah, so, you know, when I think about Legend of Zelda, I like to think that, you know, the people who did play Legend of Zelda when it came out, you know, that was probably a huge fucking thing for them. You know, such a large open game with so many things to do, you know, and such a wonderful sort of colourful world for the time, at least, anyway. You know, and then Sonic the Hedgehog is just another perfect example of a game from that time that's just like that. There are kids back then who are adults today who, you know, will never forget this game. You know, this game will stick with them for the rest of their life. Whenever they hear anything about Sonic, they'll remember those memories from being a child, maybe just sort of sitting in their room with their friends, maybe, or family, you know, just playing through Sonic the Hedgehog, just going through these worlds and enjoying the experience, the atmosphere, the music, you know. It's like, what was that thing JonTron said? JonTron said this thing a long time ago in a video of his about Donkey Kong Country, where he was like, you know, remember a time when, you know, you'd lay down in a a comfortable blanket with your controller in your hand, and the screen lights up, and you hear that euphoric jingle for the first time, or whatever he says. He was talking about Donkey Kong Country and the opening jingle of Donkey Kong Country, and I feel like that really is a thing that a lot of kids would have had, back in the 80s and 90s, that now that they're adults, it probably has just stuck with them forever, and is something that they will never forget, and I'm sad that I will never get to have that myself, personally. I would love to have that, to have a game that I played as a kid that I have an experience that will stick with me, but I have nothing like that. I do have something similar, which is with Banjo-Kazooie, which I've said many times before. I absolutely adore Banjo-Kazooie. In fact, my nan was round mine today, and as my grandma, if you're American, grandma, nan, whatever you're, mama, nana, whatever, meh. I don't know where you come from and what you call your grandma, but she was round today, and I actually showed her. We were looking through some old pictures and stuff, and I found something I made years and years ago when I first got into Banjo-Kazooie as a kid, which was a custom guide that I actually made for myself when I was a kid. I'm not going to put any pictures up of it or anything, but essentially what it was I actually made my own guide for the entire game, in detail. I actually wrote every word myself, I drew every picture myself. It was so detailed and colourful and vibrant, and I absolutely loved it. And I thought I'd lost it, but it was just sort of sitting in a box for years. And that's me. That's my personal childhood obsession. Even today, that experience will stick with me. I loved Banjo-Kazooie, and it had such a huge effect on me as a person, as a gamer, because I had such fun with Banjo-Kazooie, like what I said about, people's experiences with games like Zelda and of course this game as well. I feel like my experience with Banjo was essentially the same thing, but on a smaller scale. I absolutely loved Banjo-Kazooie, and those experiences of running through the levels, collecting the jiggies and the music notes will stick with me, and the music will stick with me. Everything about it will stick with me for the rest of my life. And I can only hope that the people out there that have that with Sonic and Zelda, games like that, I can only hope that those people will continue to love these games forever and play them again and again and again, because I know I will. I will definitely play Sonic again, and I will definitely play Banjo again, and I will definitely play Mario again, and Donkey Kong Country. I'll play all these games again, over and over until the day I die. These games are huge parts of my life, not as much as Banjo, but, they are huge, so... Huge! They are huge! Anyway, I went on this huge rant, but I think the point had to be made, though, really, that Sonic is one of those games that has embedded itself in a lot of people's hearts, and will stick with them forever. So let's hope that those people are having a happy time. Let's hope those people are living happy lives and are still playing these games. That's my only hope, actually, for people who love games that much as a kid. My only hope for them is that they still play their favourite games time after time. Because, if you really love a game, you play it as many times as you can afford, Because, even though I love Banjo-Kazooie, I can only afford to play it, several times. Man, I'm really sucking here, aren't I? Look at that. I keep getting hit. But yeah, I can only afford to play Banjo several times. So, and with Sonic, like I said earlier, I only played it once. So, some games you don't play very often. Look at me, look, I'm dancing. Dancing. I wish I knew more about Sonic. Because I watched Sonic X once upon a time, but I don't remember anything about it. I'd love to find maybe somewhere online to actually watch it, but I honestly don't know. I will maybe look for it actually. Since Sonic is the big thing this week, I think I will find Sonic X and watch it through this week, as well as playing Sonic Mania, because I feel like it's a necessary thing, you know? I have to do it. It has to be done. Weirdly enough, I didn't run into the part of the level where you get blown by the fan through the waterways, and you grab onto the pipes. You know the bits where you grab, Sonic gets blown through, but he grabs onto pipes, and you have to move him so that he doesn't fall into spikes. I never hit that part in any of these levels. Weirdly enough, I don't know where they were. It's so blatant that my experience with these games is mostly through other people playing them and not me, you know, but just know that I have played each of these games at least once in my lifetime, at least once myself, you know, however many times I've watched people play them, which is quite a few, I have played these games at least once. So I just want people to know that, because, you know, I feel it's important that people know I have experienced these games for myself at least once. So, although with Sonic, I don't think it's really necessary for you to experience them, you know, by playing them yourself. I think it is possible to get, you know, to grips with the sort of Sonic experience by watching someone else play. But to truly sort of, to truly sort of respect the Sonic games, you do, I think, need to actually play them. So, same with a lot of games. I had the same opinion with a lot of games. If you want to truly respect a game, you need to play it. It's one thing to watch someone else play, it's another thing to play it yourself. When I was a kid, I watched my brother play so many of these games, and it took me so many years for me to finally take my finger out of my arse and play them myself. You know, I have vivid memories of being a child and watching my brother play things like this. Spyro, Tony Hawk's, Mario, you know, just all of these games, you know, and I wish that I played them earlier in my life, you know, because maybe I might have actually gotten to actually properly learn how to play these games without being shit and using save states. But you know what, I might not have either, so who knows. You know, it happens. Some games you just find harder than others, you know. But thanks to the world of save stating emulation, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, this is the not boss fight, the one where you chase Dr. Robotnik upwards. I don't think it's actually possible to kill him here. I legit don't think it is. I think there are people who have actually tried and managed to hit him like several times on the way up, and just he doesn't die. So I never did get this one though, this particular sort of boss fight, quote unquote, because you're chasing Robotnik, so you're trying to avoid what is essentially very tough obstacles. I mean, look at that, right? I couldn't even make it up without losing rings, you know. It's very tough. So I don't know. And then all the animals are free again. Oh, wow. 7 minutes and 53 seconds to beat that level. Holy crap, man. I think that is just a long level by default, though. I think without all the Jalia, that probably would have taken about 6 minutes. Maybe 5.5. Still pretty long for a level, though. So here we go. This is my favourite zone in the entire game. I didn't even see the fucking name right there, so I can't say it still. Oh my god, I love it. I'm so fucking shit at remembering names. But yeah, I love this zone. I love everything about it. I love the music, I love the atmosphere, I love the entire style of it. You know, I know there's a lot of reused enemies, but, you know, there's lots of new obstacles as well that you have to deal with, like these step things, you know, and these fireballs that come out of the things here as well. Oh, I got hit, that's great. You know, I just... Oh, wow. Hold on. What am I doing? My goodness. Apparently I'm sucking. That's what I'm doing. Oh, wow. Come on, me. Do better. That's what a lot of you are yelling at the screen, isn't it? It's like, do better! You're shit! Nah, it's fine. I know I'm shit. I know I'm shit at these games. I've never been, like, the greatest at these, so... I don't know, that's like the 4th time I've said that. Maybe the 5th in this entire video. It's something important to keep reiterating, though, is that, you know, different people have different gameplay styles. You know, not everybody can play platformers, not everybody can play strategy games, not everybody can play MMOs. You know, I've never been a huge fan of MMOs myself. I've never gotten into them, really, and I've never really gotten into the whole, like, RPG thing either. You know, it depends on the type of RPG, because there's, like, open world RPGs, and then there's turn-based RPGs, you know. It's mostly turn-based RPGs that piss me off. I absolutely despise turn-based RPGs. I'm really impatient and just cannot deal with the grinding. So, I mean, there are games that aren't RPGs that involve grinding, you know, but I don't really usually like those kinds of games. There was one example recently, actually, of a game I liked that had a lot of grinding, which was Dust and Elysian Tale. It doesn't have too much grinding, but it does have a little bit, and it does take a couple of hours, you know, of just grinding to get your levels up. But it's not exactly necessary, it's optional, which is you know, why I don't mind it. With a lot of RPGs like Final Fantasy, it's not optional. If you want to beat certain bosses, you have to get to certain levels and have certain unlocks, you know, which means you have to be certain levels. So it's really annoying, because you're forced to have to level up, which means you're forced to have to grind, and I'm so impatient, you know. But with these old games, even though you die over and over again, and you know, you get game overs and you have to start from the beginning, you know, I still think these games are far superior to any fucking turn-based RPG. And it's why I'm not so mad about these kinds of games as I am about Final Fantasy type games, because, you know, even though there is some grinding involved with these kinds of games, specifically, you know, learning about, you know, where things are so that you can avoid them the next time you play, you know, I still enjoy them because they actually make it fun. You know, I mean, the fun in RPGs is the story, usually, for me. You know, it's why, despite the grinding, I actually enjoyed Final Fantasy X. It's the only Final Fantasy I've ever actually played myself, personally. I have watched playthroughs of other Final Fantasy games, and I feel like those would piss me off more than Final Fantasy X did. You know, but Final Fantasy X, I only stayed with because of the grinding. Oh, not, what the fuck? Jesus. I only stayed with it because of the story, not the grinding. I thought the story was absolutely fantastic, and I wanted to know. I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know who Sin was. You know, I wanted to know details. You know, and the whole story was absolutely fantastic. And I know that that's the same with a lot of Final Fantasies, and why a lot of people love them is because of the story. Or the stories, you know, because, you know, different Final Fantasy games. But, you know, I can't do it. I can't bring myself to play these games, you know? I'm just not good at it. But you know what? It's fine. Because, even though I'm not good at Final Fantasy games, it's not that I'm not good, I'm just not patient. Even though I'm not patient with Final Fantasy games, I still like what they offer. I still respect what they are, you know, and it's the same with a lot of games. I don't play them, but I respect them. You know, as a gamer, you have to be respectful of the craft, you know. You have to be aware at all times that a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and a lot of passion was put into the games you play. You know, whenever I play a game, I never forget that someone real was behind that game. You know, someone made that game. Someone, you know, or a group of people put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of thought into making that game. And that's something I will always respect, because, you know, I am just respectful like that with video games. You know, I don't like to shit on any developers, because I know it's extremely hard making a video game. You know, I did game design in college, and I got to play around with a lot of the tools that many of the game devs use for, you know, just generic games like Unity-based games. And I think there's a lot of respect that can be had for those developers when you realise just how hard they work and how much shit they deal with when they put their games out. You know, because there's so much bad press in gaming journalism. You know, I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I do have a problem with gaming journalism. You know, I think gaming journalism is really toxic these days because, you know, nobody seems to respect the craft. Nobody seems to actually respect that a lot of work goes into every game that gets made, you know. At least, you know, many of the, you know, sort of mainstream games anyway. Another clever boss battle here. But, you know, I like to respect developers, and I like to also not talk about shitty journalists who shit on everyone for no reason other than just because why not. Did I hit? I'm watching this intriguingly. This boss battle is very slow because of the way that it's designed, so. Another very clever boss battle though. I mean, look at it. He drops the spikes down that you've been playing around, that you've been trying to avoid the entire level, and you got to use them to bring yourself up and hit Dr. Robotnik. I mean, how clever. Again, another extremely clever boss battle in this game. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a clever boss battle. So, man, what else was there that I wanted to talk about? Like another 20 minutes of this video. Scrap Brain Zone, Act 1. Oh, wow, Scrap Brain Zone. Now, another one that's got fantastic music. What am I saying? They all have fantastic music. But goddamn, listen to that music though. Hold on, I'm going to be quiet for a second. Oh. Seriously, that music is probably some of the greatest music in gaming history. Honestly, I fucking love that. That entire, like, oh fuck, I don't know what it is. It sounds so mechanical. It's so perfect for the level. Every piece of music for this game is so perfect for the level it's in. I can't get enough of it. And I can't wait for Sonic Mania so that I can see like what kind of music that they've designed for that. I mean, the only stuff I know about so far is the two songs that Hyper Potions made for the game, which are Trials and the new one, which is the opening animation song, which I think is called Friends. So, you know, and those two tracks are fucking amazing. So I'm really looking forward to what kind of music are in the levels in Sonic Mania. I should also point out I'm not going to play the entirety of Sonic Mania. You know, as I said, you know, I've used the save states for these games, and I know that I'm probably going to die many times over trying to get used to Sonic Mania. But I am going to make the effort, and I am going to beat the game. I promise you, I will. I'm not going to fucking... What was I going to say? I'm not going to cheat myself. You know, I'm gonna actually play the game properly. You know, like everybody else has to, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. So, hopefully, when I do play Sonic Mania on video, I'll be able to get a good portion of the game on video. You know, because I don't just want to do the first few levels of the game and be like, yep, that's a video. I want to do at least several levels. Although, to be honest, I think there's only 15 levels in the game, as far as I know. Something like that. I'm not really sure. I could look it up right now, while we're doing this commentary. I could look it up. So I haven't got a Siri, but you're about to hear me talk to Google, because why the hell not? Oh, I love this so much. Look at this level. Look at it. Again, just the fucking aesthetic, the background, the fucking mechanical everything, the fire. Oh, it's just so good, man. Come on, you can't fucking hate this. It's so good. Oh, it's so good, honestly. I fucking can't get enough of this. I'm so glad I decided to do this. So glad. You know, I don't know about you guys, you know, anybody watching this, you know, you probably don't care. But, thank fuck that I did this. It's so good, you know. Hold on. I'm going to do the Google thing now. Act 2, boys! Here we go. Okay, Google. How many levels are in Sonic Mania? Okay. It doesn't have a reply for me because there isn't one yet, but... list of levels. Sonic News Network. How many zones and levels can we expect? Sonic Mania, that's from 2016. Confirmed stages so far. Sonic Mania will feature levels inspired by scrapped Mega Drive, whatever. There's a Wikipedia, so I can look at that. And at the same time, enjoy what's going on screen right now, which is lots of fucking shittiness, apparently. I'm apparently really fucking shit. Look at me, look. I'm sucking Major Ding Dong. Do you know what it was? I died so many times by this point in the game that I had just gotten really sick and tired, and I had all the Chaos Emeralds and knew that you couldn't go Supersonic, so I was just like, well, fuck it. As long as I've got one ring, it doesn't matter if I take a hit. You know? I kept forgetting that, honestly. Alright, Sonic Mania. Yep. I'm gonna have another drink. I always loved the aesthetic in Sonic the Hedgehog as well, actually. Because the thing is, the original Sonic the Hedgehog game did so many good things aesthetically, you know, that it was hard to... I think it might have been hard for the developers to one-up themselves when they made Sonic 2. But they managed it because Sonic 2 just opened it up much larger and it was so good. Okay, hold on. I'm taking a look. How many levels? Do we have... What's going on? Hey, boss. Bada bing, bada boom. Get that. Never mind. Sonic Mania takes place over several levels called zones. Each zone is divided into 2 acts in which the player must guide their character to defeat Dr. Eggman and his henchmen, the hard-boiled heavies, customized versions of Egg Robo enemies from Sonic and Knuckles. Do you know, that's another thing. I could have played Sonic and Knuckles instead of Sonic the Hedgehog for this video, right? I was debating whether I play Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic the Hedgehog, because Sonic Knuckles is obviously the game that Sonic Mania takes more inspiration from. But my general idea was Sonic the Hedgehog's where it started. There's going to be levels from it, you know, remade in Sonic Mania. So I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. We'll do Sonic the Hedgehog, and that'll be that. You know, it's fine. I'm sure there's people out there that are playing Sonic and Knuckles right now in preparation for Sonic Mania. It's fine. I'd rather play Sonic the Hedgehog. Thanks very much. So, but anyway, it looks like the game only has it has much fewer levels than the original Sonic. It would seem. Ah, here we are. Look, is the boss fight. Oh, it's Eggman. Oh, that music is so good, isn't it? Oh, nope, it's not a boss fight. It's Act 3. Oh, I love it so much. That right there is like just one of the best trolls, you know, in Origin gaming. You know, in traditional gaming, there's not many times that you get tricked like that, you know, and it's so good that they do that. It's like, oh look, it's Eggman. You're gonna fight him. Oh no, you're not. You've got another level to do first. And this level is actually quite difficult. You know, I mean, look at that. They put that enemy in such a tight space there. You know, it's really nice, though, that they trick you like that, because it gives you an opportunity to sort of prepare yourself mentally for the boss battle at the end, you know. One of the other things that really bothered me about this game is how few lives there actually are. If you get really, really good at this game, you know, the maximum lives you can get is 99. but it's really difficult to do, considering that, you know, you don't get to replay any levels throughout the course of the game. I mean, even if you collect every ring you find and don't take any hits, I'm pretty sure it'd be really hard to get to 99 lives. You know, and of course, when you lose every single life down to 0, you have to start all over again. You get continues in this game, I think. If I remember rightly, I did actually get game overs quite a few times that I cut out. And it does make you, it does make, I think it does give you a chance to continue with 3 lives. It just starts you at the beginning of the level that you were in. I'm not sure how many times it'll do that before it makes you start the game again, or if it does. Maybe I've been wrong about that this whole time, actually. Now that I think about it, what if I'm wrong about that? What if I've been wrong about that all these years, that, like, you do actually, just start from the beginning of the level that you've been playing if you get a game over? Because the thing is, the original Sonic the Hedgehog on the arcade machine, you know, probably you would have had to have put money in to continue, but every other version of Sonic, you know, has probably been a free-to-play version that just, you know, starts you from the beginning of a level when you press continue. I'm gonna have to look that up now, because that's bothering me. For the last, like, several years, I've sort of thought that if you died and lost all your lives too many times, you start from the beginning of the game from World 1-1. But maybe I'm just thinking of Mario. You know, because this game was on the Mega Drive, so it was on a later system than Mario, you know, so it probably did have a better save system to it. You know, the reason Mario started you from the beginning, mostly, was because there wasn't enough space to, you know, store that memory. So, shit. I guess I learned something before the end of this Pi Day video, huh? Dang. Well, anyway, I think we're getting close to the end boss fight of the game. This is fucking exciting, this. There's something very, very special about this sort of ending, though. It's such a really, really tough sort of ending for any player, you know. It makes you play this really, really tough sort of well thought out obstacle course of enemies and obstacles, you know, to make your way to Eggman, you know. And then when you finally get out of the level, there he is, Eggman, the one guy, you know. Here I almost die. Yeah, the music plays out. It was like, yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was really weird when I saw that happen on video. Because it like played out the music, but the game had slowdown. So the music finished playing, but the timer hadn't gotten down yet. So that was really, really strange. And here we go. Look at, we're here. This is it. This is when you jump out and you get to the boss fight at the end of the game. Final zone. Oh, now this is such a good boss fight. I fucking love this boss fight. It was really hard to do, but you know what? It is so clever. You know, you have to be so focused, you know, and I'm not really sure of the tactics for this, honestly, even having, you know, played over and over and over again for like half an hour. I know this is the winning run that I'm showing here, but, you know, having played over and over and over again, I'm still not really aware of what the tactics are supposed to be for this. You know, these lasers are really easy to avoid, but trying to, you know, tell where he's going to come up at is really quite difficult. You know, I think you're supposed to just sort of pay really, really close attention. I feel like it's extremely luck-based, actually, this boss fight, for the most part. You know, because there's no specific way that he comes up. For the most part, he just sort of comes up randomly. I played this boss fight over and over and over again, like maybe 20 times before I got this winning run, and I can tell you right now, he did not come up the same way every time. In fact, he came up a different way pretty much every single time I played him, which was really, really weird. Like, I don't understand how you're supposed to sort of tell the pattern. It seems kind of unfair that the game really throws you for a loop here. You know, it's simply knowing the fact that it makes you start the level all over again if you get a game over. I suppose that isn't all bad though, but you know, it is quite frustrating. Oh well. Still good though. The music is fucking great. I love the boss music. Like, for me, boss music at the end of a game should sort of be something really huge. You know, it should be something epic. It should be like, oh my god, You've reached the end of the game. This is the guy that you've got to beat the shit out of. This is it. This is the end. You know, like, that's I want that feeling out of the music, and for me, this music provides that. It is such an amazingly epic tune, you know. And then, you know, you get to the end, it all explodes. There's Dr. Eggman, he starts running away, you chase him, he gets in his thing, you know, and then you hit him and he starts blowing up, and oh, that's it, that's the end, you know. Oh, it's just so good, honestly. The whole game is fantastic. So there you go. Like, it is a fantastic game. It started the entire thing, and, you know, from Sonic the Hedgehog to Sonic Mania, this is it, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog. So as the credits roll here, I'm gonna just say a few words before we end this Pi Day off with the pre-launch trailer for Sonic Mania, because the next time you see me is gonna be Sonic Mania. So I want to say, if you did watch this video, thank you. It is so important to me that people sort of get to be reminded that video games, you know, aren't just sort of a thing that exists. They're something very important to a lot of people. You know, they give us experiences that stick with us our whole lives, and they, you know, they change us as people in some cases. You know, they help us to realise things we couldn't have realised before. You know, and there's so much adventure to be had in video games that, you know, sometimes you lose yourself and you forget just what it is about video games that makes us love them so much. And for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, I think the thing that we love about video games is just the adventures that they take us on. They help us to explore worlds that, you know, we couldn't imagine exploring ourselves. So, you know, I just think that's a fantastic thing, and I really want to again thank people for sharing that experience, or sharing in that experience with me, and sort of watching through this, because Sonic the Hedgehog again is a fantastic series of games. The original games have a huge fan base, and they've been around for so long now that it's just a part of culture. Everybody knows Sonic the Hedgehog. You mention Sonic the Hedgehog to even the normiest of people, and they'll probably know who Sonic is. So, you know, there you go. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you when I make Sonic Mania. When I do Sonic Mania. As for the next Pi Day video, just before I end this, I look forward to it. I'm going to be fucking vague if I want to about which game it's going to be. I'll tell you what right now, boy. But anyway, thanks for watching. Here's the Sonic Mania pre-launch trailer.